Alright, so when you walked in today, you should have picked up 2 worksheets. One of the worksheets has an open spot at the top of it. That sheet is your note sheet for class today. Backside will be homework for this evening. Another homework, double-sided, for this evening too. Okay? So that's what we're dealing with today. So we got 3 warm-up problems today. Then we've got 3 word problems that we have to do. We got a summative coming up next, not next week, but the week after Thanksgiving break. More than likely, I would say we're probably up to about 75% that it's going to be on the 30th. And we would, the 25%, we might change it to the 5th, but I would say plan on it for sure on the 30th. Okay? When we, in the past few years, we've done, right about this time, we've gone to handing in homework being optional. And so we're at that time, we're going to offer that out too. If your current overall grade in this class is 85% or better, you have the option of handing in the homework. You still have to do the homework, you just don't have to hand it in. Okay? All right? If you are below an 85% overall, you don't have that option. You still have to hand it in. Yes, ma'am. Yep. Yep. If you hand it in, it will be graded like normal and go as a help your grade type of thing. Yes. Okay. Okay. Any other questions on that? If you are at 85% and don't hand it in, it doesn't help or hurt you. It just goes in as an excuse. It doesn't go in as a 0. It goes in as an excuse. It doesn't hurt, but it also doesn't help. Okay. Regardless of 85% or not, that does not include chapter review homeworks. Chapter review homeworks everyone has. So just so you know. Or section review or test review homeworks. Everyone. The one that you'll get next week, Tuesday. Everyone has. Okay? And then again, a gentle reminder that your unit circle projects are due on the 28th, which is Tuesday after. Okay? Alrighty. So, first warm-up problem is here. Then we'll do the second and the third warm-up problem. Where it says warm-up, yes. Based off of this information right here, what quadrant are we in? 2. We're in quadrant number 2. In quadrant number 2, I'm looking for the cosine value. Is that x, y, y over x over y, 1 over y, 1 over x? X, okay, so I'm looking for the x coordinate in quadrant 2 that has negative root 3 over 2. Where is that? 5 pi over 6. So my theta value here would be 5 pi over 6. Try those 2.
It's also been the same like 2 years ago. 3. I got to start.
Quadrant. Quadrant 3. Okay. So got a square root of 3. So that's going to narrow it down to either 7 pi over 6 or 4 pi over 3. Right? Okay. So let's try 7 pi over 6 first. If we go with 7 pi over 6, then our tangent value would be y divided by x, which would be negative 1/2 divided by negative root 3 over 2, which is going to be positive 1 over the square root of 3. if I rationalize that denominator, I get the square root of 3 over 3. Not the square root of 3, right? Okay, so it's not that one.
The top one.
So then let's go, what did I say, 4 pi over 3? Now it's going to be negative root 3 over 2 divided by negative 1/2. That's going to be positive square root of 3. That's what I want. So 4 pi over 3 is my theta. Yes? Okay. Quadrant 4. Cosecant is 1 over sine. Wait a second. Oh, I put it in wrong. That's why I put it in wrong. Oh, that's why it didn't work. This is supposed to be secant, not cosecant.
There you go.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yeah. I typed it in wrong. Because I changed it from the original one because the original one was the ones you did yesterday. So I'm like, I gotta change these because otherwise you're doing the same problem. Yeah, that's where we'll make that change. Makes a lot more sense now because now it's positive. So secant of theta is 1 over cosine of theta. So in quadrant 4, the only cosine value that doesn't have a radical in it is 5 pi over 3. So that would be 1 over positive 1/2, which would be positive 2. So it works out to be 5 pi over 3. Okay? All right. So let's talk a little bit about angles of elevation and angles of depression. They literally, what they say is what they mean. Okay? An angle of elevation you would be standing somewhere. Yep, that's you. Okay? You're standing somewhere and you're looking up at something. And the angle of elevation would be this angle right there. It comes off of the horizontal. If your eyes are, so we're all sitting down now, okay? So when our eyes are looking straight out, that's our horizontal. When we look at the minion based on the back wall, okay, your eyeballs or your head has to angle up to lock eyes with the minion. Okay? Bob the one-eyed one?
No, that's
Stuart? Kevin?
No, Kevin's the lanky guy. He's got two.
Kevin's the tall skinny
Have you
one.
not watched me? Kevin's the I have.
Because Bob has the two with the two separate eyeballs.
Okay, so then Stuart.
Stuart, he has the little guitar.
Okay, right. You watch videos a lot more than I watch videos. Okay, right, so when we look up, okay, that angle that we're looking up, so here's my level, that angle that I'm looking up, that angle right in here, that's my angle of elevation. Okay, all right, comes off of the horizontal. Doesn't come off the vertical, comes off of the horizontal. Okay? An angle of depression Now you are up on high somewhere and you're looking down at something. Okay? And your angle is, again, coming off of the horizontal. Your angle of depression is right here. Okay? Comes off of the horizontal. Okay? When you're looking at the pedals below, yes.
I drew myself.
It's a really detailed
Okay.
drawing.
All right? We'll go way up top today. Okay? All right. So, Rose, I'm going to use you. Okay? So my angle of depression, so I'm at one end, I'm up on high looking down on Rose like Gabby's looking down on the peasants. Okay? So my angle of depression to Rose is what? From Rose back to me. Yeah. My angle of depression to Rose is Rose's angle of elevation to me. Okay? Right? Because those are alternate interior angles. Now you thought, oh, I was going to get through a whole semester without hearing alternate interior angles, but because your horizontal is parallel to my horizontal, the transversal would be our line of sight. There's our alternate interior. Okay? All right? So just so you know, angle of depression from one spot is the angle of elevation from the other spot. Okay? Alright, so a tree casts a shadow 60 feet long when the angle of elevation of the sun is 23 degrees 0 minutes. We need to find the height of the tree. What do you feel would be very beneficial for us to have before we start this problem? Picture? Okay. Does it have to be a pretty one, like a Picasso-esque? We're going to hang it in the Museum of the Pre-Calculus? Yes. Okay. Or what does it basically just have to be?
Beautiful.
A right triangle, right? That's all you really need. Okay?
Birch trees are ugly.
Oh, that's not a very good right triangle. Okay. So my tree's over there. Why is my tree over there? That's just where I put it. Is it? Do your trees normally grow horizontally along the ground? Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You're just on the other side of the tree from me. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. So my angle of elevation would be right here because it's my only angle that's going up. With me? Okay. So that would be 23 degrees right there. Where do I find the shadow?
On the other side.
On the other side of the tree? On the floor, right? On the ground? Okay. So that would be 60 feet right there. What do I need to find?
The tree.
I found it. It's right there.
You gotta find the height of
The height of the tree, right? Okay. Right? So what do we want to call the height of the tree?
trees.
X, H, Q, T, T bat, H, X. Let's go X. We'll go classic.
Wait,
We'll go.
so if the sun's shining up at the tree,
When has the sun been shining up at the
then it's
tree?
like rising.
The tree looks up to the sun. That's why.
Yeah, I was confused too, like.
So the sun here is up here.
I thought we were going wrong.
Because if you, the angle, it says the angle of elevation of the sun, meaning you have to look and see the sun, which you shouldn't do. Angle of elevation, I gotta look up to.
So you're looking at the sun. The
So
sun's
you're
looking
here,
at the
yes.
tree. Got it.
Yes.
Got it. Got it.
Yes. So at any one point in time, the angle of elevation of the sun is where no matter what it is, it's always the same, right? Okay?
Yeah.
Because wherever we're standing, you know what I mean? So like right now, at this second, if we go out and measure the angle of the elevation to the sun, for all of these things, wherever we're standing, is always the same.
Okay, so
Yeah.
the tree has to be on a hill so that your eyes are even, right?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah.
So much.
Okay.
The sun was like on the bottom one.
Yes, I did, because I thought.
So you thought the sun was underground?
I thought the sun was just looking up. Like, you know, it goes around the side of the earth, and like there's a tree on the side.
On the side,
and then it comes up.
Uh-huh.
You know how.
Okay, so what am I dealing with here? I've got so, ka, or stoa. I got so?
Jason, you got 10.
I got toa, don't I?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got tangent. So that's going to be the tangent of 23 degrees is going to equal the opposite side, which was x, over the adjacent side, which was 60. So x here is going to equal 60 tangents of 23 degrees. Now we can go to our calculator and we can say 60 tangents of 23 degrees, and I get 25.46848897. What are you gonna go with? 25.5 feet. Yeah, because it's a word problem, so we should have a label on our answer. Okay. What rule? Did you say there was a rule?
No, I didn't. Did I?
I don't know.
You said
Oh,
That's
label
what I
should
heard.
label. Yeah, you gotta have labels.
and then I circled my answer, and then I said my pen back, but I dropped it, so then I said darn.
Darn. Okay. Gotcha. All right. You try number 2. Find me using the cockpit cutoff angle.
Because
Sweetheart.
that's what I'm thinking. Because the sunflower was invented by John Deere, so like why not have John Deere go into these
For what?
Yes, we should get no just yeah.
Okay. So then my angle of depression would be there. We're 610 meters above the ground. We want to find the distance from the plane directly to the point. That's that one. So that tells me that we are dealing with the sine of theta is opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of 15 degrees is 610 over x. So x is 610 divided by the sine of 15, which is 2,385. 56.
So why wouldn't it be cosine? Like why couldn't 610 be in the opposite?
Because we're not flying for 610 meters. We're flying at 610 meters above the ground.
Because what if you drew from
So
the
if
plane
I-
a line
so-
straight down?
So if I went like this,
Yeah, and then 15 was.
okay, so then 15 would be out here, because it's got to come off the horizontal, which means that 15 would be there, which means that 610 would be there, still looking for x.
I see.
because the angle of depression comes off of the horizontal, not off of the vertical.
I'll remember that.
So I would say here 2,356.9 meters.
My brain's just not good.
Okay? Try that one now. All right. So you're standing up here. You look out and you see water. Okay? You see one side of the river. Now, how you make your triangle, that's totally up to you. I'm going to go like this. There's my triangle. That would tell me that this then is 42 degrees 27 minutes. I'm 27 meters up. So that one's 27. What side do I want to find? Horizontal or diagonal? I want to find the horizontal side. I'm going to call it X. What are we going to use? We're going to use tangent. So the tangent of 42 degrees 27 minutes is going to be the opposite side, 27, over the adjacent side, X. So X then is going to be 27 divided by the tangent of 42 degrees 27 minutes. Now on my calculator, I'm going to go 27 divided by tangent of 42, and I'm going to use the angle key, or the angle part, and I can put in the degree symbol, and then I can type in 27, and I can use the angle thing, and I can type in the minutes symbol, and I can close that set of parentheses, and I can divide it, and it gets me 29.5170019. And I'm going to leave that on my calculator. Okay? You have a key. You have a 0 dash double dash key because you have a TI-30. It's up at the top.
How do you use that?
So you would type in tangent 42, push that key, highlight the degree symbol, enter,
Oh,
type in 27, push that key, go over to the single, hit enter, hit enter.
so it actually uses it.
Okay?
Well, it actually.
Alright. Now we're still standing, same spot. We look down, we see the other side of the river. But now we're looking at 53 degrees 29 minutes. This is still 27 meters above. We haven't moved yet. We're still looking for that side right there. That again is going to be tangent. So y is going to be 27 divided by the tangent of 53 degrees 29 minutes. So for me, I'm just going to scroll up and hit enter, and then I'm going to change 27 to 29 and 42 to 53, and that gives me, this one is 19.99110601. What am I going to do with both of those? Subtract them. Now am I going to subtract little minus big?
You could,
So this is going to be x minus y, which is going to give me minus that 9.52589589, but the directions of the problem said that we should round to the tenths. So I'm going to say this is 9.5 meters.
Should we always write out that like whole long thing, or is it fine if you always just put around it?
Or leave it on your calculator. Because this one, it was good to leave on the calculator
Yeah.
because we used it afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it just like,
But if
whatever
you-
we write is fine.
But if you write it, like, if you use it,
If you use it.
if you're gonna use it again, write out more decimal places, just in case you forget how to save it on your calculator. Yep. Okay, so now for the rest of the time, we went a little slower than normal, so the last class had a little bit more time to it. I was kind of annoyed by them. You've got now 5 homework sheets out there. Because if you flip over your note sheet, you will see there's more word problems on the back side. Okay? You'll be thankful to know that at the end of each word problem on the back side, you will see in parentheses a number and a label. That is intentional. Those are the answers. Okay? Those are the answers to that particular problem so that you know then if you're right or not. Okay? All right? Again, everybody should be doing them. 85% club, you have the option of turning them in. Okay? Everybody else, you want to get to the 85%.